In the exact time it took for the feeling to unfold, my bones turned to stone and not emotion was presented. The sound was crippling. It paralyzed me. Too many times the idea crossed my mind, but I tried to forget the thought that ate me alive. Each morning I'd wake to the burn of the early morning sun creeping across my face as it slowly filled the room. I'd lay there for several minutes, deciding whether the sound was in my head or if he was at it again. It was the sound of a pen skipping across paper. After a moment, I decided it was coming from the next room, and that he was at it again. He was writing. He was always writing. Even when he would break, the sound would echo throughout the house. I wanted him to stop, not just writing, but breathing. 5 months of him writing was too much for me. His presence was a burden I never asked for. I would have done anything to make him leave, but I could do nothing. He was my friend, my only friend. But I hated him. I first met him a year ago after the accident. Room 212. That was where we met. That was the room they put me in while I was recovering from the tragedy. He was there when I first woke up, laying in the bed next to me. The only thing separating us was a blue curtain. It was the bluest, most perfectly placed cloth I had ever seen. I didn't want to see him, or talk to him, or be friends with him. But he's a hard guy to ignore. His voice is gentle and yet firm. When he spoke, he wanted to listen. He says he was seated next to me on the bus, but I don't remember him. Then again, I don't remember much of that day. The first time he came by my house was 2 weeks after I was released. I remember because it was the first time my prescription ran out and I was about to go to the pharmacy when he showed up at my door. Well, we got to talking, and he started telling me about how dangerous these pills were, and that I shouldn't be taking them. I guess it kind of scared me at the time, so I decided to refill it another day. He hung around for about a week, always talking about this book he wanted to write. Then one day I came back from refilling my prescription, and he was gone. He left a note explaining how he had to leave on this important trip, and when he got back he would finally start his book. 3 knocks informed me when he had returned from his vacation. I didn't want to let him in, but I couldn't just leave him out there. Somehow, he seemed to understand me, in a way no one else ever did. He was a gentleman, never disagreed or argued, but there was something I didn't like about him. He gave me this feeling, like I was sick, but couldn't vomit. He started writing immediately, said he couldn't waste any time, and his book was important. I put up with him, but not by choice. After a few weeks, I grew to hate him. I'd go to work every day, while he'd sit in my house and write his stupid book. I couldn't take it. I couldn't take any more writing. I wanted him out, but yet I depended on him. I needed him like I needed the air to breathe. I kept quiet, but I don't know how long I can last.